It takes a rare kind of confidence to build a factory capable of producing the world's most advanced batteries, then turn around and engineer a hypercar designed to humble the most prestigious names in motorsport. That is precisely the statement BYD made at the 2026 Beijing Auto Show, and the automotive world is still processing it. For years, BYD was celebrated as the affordable champion of the EV revolution, a Chinese company undercutting Western rivals on price, matching them on technology, quietly outpacing them in volume. But at this year's Beijing show, BYD's ultra-premium sub-brand, Yangwang, unveiled something that defied that narrative entirely, the U9 Extreme. Priced at $2.76 million and limited to just 30 units worldwide, it is not a concept car built for a museum floor. BYD chairman Wang Chuanfu personally handed the keys of the very first unit to a buyer on the show floor. The order books had already been emptied before the exhibition doors opened. Under that carbon bodywork sits a 1,200-volt electrical architecture and a quad-motor powertrain producing over 3,000 horsepower. The numbers alone would be remarkable on a car from any manufacturer. On a car from a brand that didn't exist in this segment 5 years ago, they are extraordinary. In September 2025, the U9 Extreme became the first production electric vehicle to lap the Nürburgring Nordschleife in under 7 minutes, stopping the clock at 6 minutes 59.157 seconds. Shortly after, it achieved an officially certified top speed of 496.22 kilometers per hour, 308 miles per hour, surpassing records previously held by Bugatti and Koenigsegg. BYD is no longer just disrupting the affordable end of the market. It is coming for the summit. But speed records and horsepower figures are only part of this story, because a parallel conversation has been building in the automotive world. One about who actually owns a car after it's been sold, who has the right to repair it, and what happens when a manufacturer decides that question has only one acceptable answer. To understand why that conversation matters, and why BYD may be about to change it, you first need to understand Matt Armstrong. Matt didn't come to cars through a traditional route. His first career was on 2 wheels as a professional BMX rider, traveling the UK competing and living out of a van, repairing his own bikes because he couldn't afford for anyone else to do it. A series of serious injuries, fractured bones, torn ligaments, ended his competitive career in his early 20s and left him without a clear direction. So he turned to the thing that had always run in his blood: cars. His YouTube channel started quietly. His girlfriend's Audi TT was written off by an insurance company after an accident. Matt bought the salvage for £600 and filmed himself fixing it. The video wasn't polished, but it was real and viewers responded. He juggled workshop jobs and delivery runs while slowly building the channel. Then former Top Gear host Richard Hammond reacted to one of Matt's rebuilds, and everything changed. Subscriber counts climbed, a Bentley rebuild earned him his first serious sponsorship, and by the end of 2019 his YouTube income had overtaken everything else. Today, Matt Armstrong has over 6 million subscribers. His method is simple and radical at the same time. Take a car that experts, insurers, and manufacturers have written off and prove them wrong on camera. He has done it with Lamborghinis, McLarens, and water-damaged Ferraris. Then, in 2025, he was handed the most difficult project of his career, a crashed Bugatti Chiron Pur Sport. The Pur Sport is among the rarest road cars ever built, one of just 60 examples, engineered specifically for cornering performance over outright speed, with a fixed rear wing, revised gear ratios, and a firmer chassis tune. This particular car was owned by entrepreneur and content creator Alex Gonzalez, who lost control of it in a crash. Carbon fiber panels were destroyed. The front structure was heavily deformed. Even the quad-turbocharged W16 engine had absorbed a violent impact. After insurance paid out, Alex did something almost no one expected. He bought the wreck back for approximately $1.9 million and handed it to Matt. Bugatti's response was swift and unambiguous. In the manufacturer's view, a seriously damaged Chiron belongs in Molsheim, France, where factory-trained technicians with proprietary tools and exclusive software assess the damage and perform the repair. The official estimate for fixing Alex's Chiron, approximately $1.7 million, on top of the $1.9 million already spent to reacquire it. Matt and Alex decided to find another way. What followed became known as the French Wall. Bugatti locked the car's VIN. In the modern automotive ecosystem, the vehicle identification number is not just a serial number. It is a digital key. Without an active VIN, factory diagnostics become inaccessible. Official spare parts cannot be ordered through authorized channels. The car is effectively excommunicated from the manufacturer's world. Bugatti's CEO publicly stated that only factory-authorized repairs could guarantee the structural integrity and safety of a Chiron. The message beneath the statement was clear: this rebuild had no legitimacy. Matt was now doing something that went beyond fixing a damaged hypercar. He was challenging the assumption that manufacturers have the right to control what happens to their cars for the rest of those cars' lives. With official parts unavailable, the team got creative. Extensive research revealed that some of the Chiron's components were shared with far more ordinary vehicles. The knee airbag module, for example, was identical to one used in the Audi A3. The steering wheel airbag assembly could be traced back to an Aston Martin DB11. These parts could be sourced through normal channels, no VIN required. For components unique to the Bugatti, the team used three-dimensional scanning to map the damaged areas, compare them to undamaged sections on the opposite side of the car, and recreate what was missing using CNC machining, fabrication, and welding. They built custom radiators from scratch. And then came the engine. The W16 is not an ordinary performance engine. It is a quad-turbocharged 8.0-liter masterpiece of mechanical complexity, the kind of power unit that almost any working mechanic would consider untouchable without factory support. When the team finally pressed the start button after months of work, the Leicester workshop fell silent. Then the engine fired. That thunderous roar echoing off the workshop walls was more than the sound of an engine running. It was confirmation that the project was possible. The contrast with other manufacturers was stark. Ferrari, for decades, has cultivated one of the most lucrative after-sales ecosystems in the industry. Servicing, parts, maintenance programs, and approved repairs all feed back into a carefully controlled system. When the musician deadmau5 customized his Ferrari 458 and branded it in a way the company objected to, Ferrari pursued the matter publicly and aggressively. To supporters, that was brand protection. To critics, it was a reminder of who the manufacturer believes is really in charge of a car after it's been sold. McLaren, by contrast, chose silence during the Chiron saga. The company had already watched at a distance when Matt rebuilt a wrecked 720S. They neither helped nor hindered. Given McLaren's own history, the company once charged over £900,000 to restore Rowan Atkinson's crashed F1, a repair that set what was then a British insurance record. They had little interest in drawing attention to the question of whether independent repairs were possible. But one manufacturer did something different. In April 2026, as Matt stood in his workshop surrounded by Chiron components, a package arrived from Sweden. Inside was a hat bearing the unmistakable emblem of Koenigsegg. It was a small gesture, but in context it carried weight. Koenigsegg is not a heritage brand with decades of tradition to protect. It was founded in 1994 by a 22-year-old with no corporate backing and a conviction that the industry's best wasn't good enough. The company built its reputation by doing what experts said couldn't be done. Sending that package to Matt Armstrong was an acknowledgement of a kindred philosophy. Which brings us back to BYD, and to the U9 Extreme, and to a question that is starting to make the hypercar establishment genuinely uncomfortable. What if BYD handed a crashed U9 Extreme to Matt Armstrong and let the world watch? Not out of necessity, but by choice. With full access to parts, diagnostics, and technical documentation. What would that do to the conversation around hypercar ownership? Buyers of these machines already compare horsepower figures and lap times. Imagine them starting to compare repairability. Imagine them asking which manufacturer treats a $2 million car like an asset the owner controls, and which one treats it like a product on extended lease. For legacy brands, that is a genuinely difficult question. Opening access risks softening the exclusivity that commands their prices. but remaining closed as a new generation of technologically capable competitors openly embraces transparency, carries its own risks. The industry has spent decades deciding what happens to a car after it leaves the showroom. Someone is about to challenge that assumption at the very top of the market, and the stopwatch at the Nürburgring suggests they already have the engineering credentials to be taken seriously.